Hi, everybody. Thanks again for being flexible and participating in a flipped environment. Again, I think this will be something that will become commonplace as you head into your teaching futures. It will probably evolve a little bit differently than it does in a college classroom. But as I think about what we have coming up and what we have going on right now and next week in the course and so forth, the flipped environment really allows me to get you more involved in the content, because I would not be able to do the same kinds of things in lecture that I'm able to do with you in this flipped environment, namely hands-on exploration, hands-on, trial and error, using stuff. So I just think it really works well for me, especially for this context of math and TPAC. So obviously you have found the flipped class, and this is the introduction. I have organized this flipped lecture very similar to the other, but it does have several parts, okay? So just so that you know, I do kind of have 10 parts, and I kind of warned you that there is a lot to this, and because of the activity that we do with you and the importance of the application of the activity that we do with you, you really do have a lot of background knowledge to explore and to try to kind of understand as we head into this idea of using self-paced math as a pedagogical approach to teaching elementary students. And we're using that as a real application by partnering with Nevada schools, which are just kind of right down the road from us on Highway 30. So as you start your flipped class, what I would like you to do first is, after this introduction, go ahead and go to number 2. Number 2 is another video. It will be a little bit shorter probably. And what this video is of Carrie Hillman, who is the Technology Integration Specialist from the Nevada schools, for the Nevada schools. She also works with Colonesco. And what she will be sharing with you is information about kind of the background of the self-paced math curriculum for the elementary students in Nevada. Interestingly enough, they do self-paced math from 3rd through 8th grade. Last year, it was only 5th and 6th grade, and now this year, 3rd and 4th, 5th, 6th, and then now this year they've added 7th and 8th. And so you can kind of see the writing on the wall in terms of they feel at this point in time that's the direction that they want to take their math curriculum. So give her some time, listen to what she has to say, and it will help set the context for you. How I'm going to set the context for you is, by the end of this and next week in lab, and maybe outside of lab, you will be creating a lesson for 2nd, 3rd, or 4th graders about some math concept of which you are going to teach. And if it's done extremely well, and again, not to put pressure, because you're learning it, you're even learning the curriculum, all that kind of stuff, but the ones that we really feel will be beneficial to the district, we're actually going to see if you will give us permission to let the district use it for their students. So you guys, you have a real audience to create a awesome lesson that then will impact students as they learn math. And how neat is that in terms of a preparation program? So keep that in mind as you go through this. So you're doing this for kids. You're not doing this for Dr. Crawford and the lab instructors. You're doing it for kids, and that's very, very important. So The next thing then, what I want you to do is another video, about, but this is a tutorial about Explain Everything. You will be using Explain Everything in lab, and in lab you will actually be doing them on iPads. It's a little cleaner on the iPads because of the touch screen, although again, as I said in lecture, you could load this to your own device and try it. But if you don't have that touch screen, it's not quite as slick, but it's doable, okay? The fourth one, I'm going to say it's semi-optional, but I think it's worth the watch. iPads in schools and how to use the Explain Everything app. It's just another take on using Explain Everything in schools. And so I think it's worth the watch, okay? The next folder is what content knowledge will students need to know? And so think of TPAC, and what we're talking about here is we're working with the Iowa Core. And so what you really want to focus on is second, third, and fourth grade. Now I know ECE majors, some of you are interested in maybe birth to 3 and those kinds of things, but for this lesson, since we are doing it for students, I think this time you could align you select either second or third. And then elementary ed majors, you guys can select second, third, or fourth, whichever you want. So you might want to just peruse, so what do second graders need to know in math? And basically, there it is, you guys. Operations, algebraic thinking, number and operations in base 10, measurement and data, geometry. Okay? That's what they're dealing with. And then the others are the same. So just browse those so you're looking through the core and knowing what's there. I also have posted, Nevada posts the standards this way. And I do have them for third and fourth, not for second, just for third and fourth. But basically what they've done is they've rewritten the core so that a third grader can understand it, and have created I can statements for the students to use, okay? So just go ahead and look at those. This is a message from the third and fourth grade teacher. Here are ideas that she has found that the third and fourth graders have difficulty with. So if you're not sure what to do it on, you might look at this, because these are the ones that they really need lessons for. But again, it's up to you. You can still do it on any standard of the core, on any objective that you want, as long as it's second, third, or fourth grade curriculum. Okay? Here are the second grade math standards, and kind of a message. Carrie wrote this. She said, I inserted Carrie, will be creating a self-paced course for second grade students who struggle with reading. Prerequisite knowledge for third grade self-paced math. So if you can do as much as possible, if you pick the second grade standards, what she's saying here is try to eliminate using a lot of text, because the difficulty they have is the students and where they are at their reading level, and then that creates problems for them in learning math. So again, as they get better at reading, hopefully they'll are able to learn math as well, okay? Kind of makes sense? So have a look at those. And these are, again, the standards at the second grade level that she could use videos for. Lessons, little mini lessons that would help them with that. Okay, so you want to look through that a little bit. Then here, so remember, ultimately, this is what you are going to do. Your learning task for next week in lab is to create an instructional video. So it will be teacher created. We're going to say about 5 minutes long. We don't want them to be 20 minutes. Remember, you're dealing with second and third graders and fourth graders. So your instructional time is not very long. So you need to teach it to them in basically 5 minutes or less. but it teaches them a targeted math concept for that grade level using the Explain Everything app, okay? So here are some examples of, or actually this is the self-paced math that they have, and I just want you to get into there. It's, Carrie has created a guest login, ISU 201, and then the password is just test1234, and that should log you in, and then you want to spend a little time here. This is their math curriculum. Here's the 3rd grade math. Here's geometry, fractions, and measurement and data. Like example, fractions. Here's those I can statements. Not sure why those pictures aren't coming through tonight. But if you go into these, it will give you the lessons, okay? Maybe Carrie's working on them or something like that, but they will work, okay? Here's measurement and data. Let's see, yeah. See, those are coming through. Here's the lesson, and then what you would do is you would go, just spend some time, go through what the students, how they learn, okay? Instead of a textbook, they're doing this all online, and they're doing it on iPads, okay? That's how they're doing all this. So just have a look at some of this. Then, here are some math instructional videos that I have pulled out that they are using now. These are some of the videos that appear in some of their self-paced lessons. Notice I just have 3rd and 4th grade for this, but it will give you an idea on what this is, and kind of, you know, you want to model your lessons maybe after some of these. Although I'm guessing yours can be better than this, okay? Then, Explain Everything examples. I just thought you might want to see a few. Here's a teacher-created math. Here's language arts. Here's social studies. Here's science. We're using Explain Everything for math, to illustrate math, but you guys, you can use it in any content area, right? Notice student-created. That's kind of exciting as well, okay? So, what you will do is you are going to prepare a lesson. And so those of you in Monday, Tuesday especially, you guys, the idea is that you will go with a draft of your lesson to lab next week. Now, Wednesday and Thursday, I know you're working on Scratch. I know that's time too. Okay, I get that. But those of you in Wednesday and Thursday, you have a little bit more time. But those Monday and Tuesday, you guys, try to have a draft of what your lesson would look like, frame by frame by frame. And what you're doing, that's why you need to look at those examples to kind of see, okay, what pictures do I need? Remember copyright. Will I draw something on the screen and just illustrate it by me writing it out? What text will I have in? If I'm in the 2nd grade, maybe I don't want less text. Okay, that kind of a thing. And so what you will do is this, you could use PowerPoint, you could use Google Slides, you could do, you know, or I'll show you some storyboard examples if you want to do that. You could do it in Word, however you want to do it. But what you're going to do is, this is what your first screen will have on it. Title of the lesson, the grade level. Pick one. The learning goal. So that goes back into what I talked about in lecture about grounded technology integration. You've got to have a learning goal. What then state the math core standard, the number, and you have to write the text. The teacher's name, that's you. Give yourself credit. And then if you want to, in 25 words or less, give a brief summary of what you think the lesson's purpose is. Make it different from the learning goal. I mean, it would elaborate probably on the learning goal. Then from there, you just, what happens here? You know, what's my first screen? Maybe then I would write on the screen and help solve these, because that's what you can do with Explain Everything. And then you'd have, what are you going to do on the next part? What are you going to do on the next part? And it ends, right? And what is the summary? So with that, I hope that I have given you a good idea